Hi everyone. You haven't seen our faces in so long. It's actually kind of crazy. I'm Diana. I'm like a BA social work student at the University of Birmingham, and I work with the Student Connect team and Siobhan to create webinars every Wednesday. And we're currently taking a break, but we thought that we would release videos, interviews, so that you guys can get to know us a little bit more and so that you don't forget us. So today we're going to be interviewing.
Omar, also a BA social work student, and I get the pleasure of going to university with Diana. And my kind of role at Student Connect is the kind of person behind, all the tech, kind of part of the tech team, but kind of the one who kind of hosts the webinar on the day, sets up the registration pages and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, that's me.
Okay, so first question, Omar, how did you get involved with the Student Connect team?
It's the same as kind of how everyone got involved, except you, Diana, I think. So obviously, Siobhan put a kind of tweet out there, kind of asking for students to kind of help her do some webinars. And I think I was probably the latest one to kind of put myself forward because I had seen the tweet, but I didn't think it was for me, I think. I didn't have any kind of experience hosting a webinar or doing anything in terms of a webinar. And then kind of going away from that tweet from the, in the morning, I kind of remember like a bit later in the day thinking, this is a great opportunity. And I might as well just put myself out there just in case. So I DM'd Siobhan, just saying if, I'm available if needed kind of thing. And, she said that there were kind of other students that were kind of interested. And then she kind of, she set up a Zoom meeting and we all kind of got together and yeah, that's how I kind of got involved in the team.
Oh, that sounds great. Like, that sounds amazing. I just want to pick up on one thing that you said. You were talking about how initially you were thinking that you weren't right for the role or you didn't have enough experience. So my question to you is, how do you feel now, a year later, having done this role, essentially, having worked with the Student Connect team and Siobhan?
Yeah, I mean, those kind of feelings, back then was kind of being a first year social work student. I think, only like what, 6 months into the degree, and obviously being really, really kind of young in the social work career, I didn't feel like I had much to offer. But then kind of Siobhan's really, really great at kind of, helping you reflect and value yourself and kind of made me realize that actually I did have a lot to offer. And yeah, kind of what how I kind of feel about it now is I'm really, really grateful for everything that I've kind of been able to learn and kind of develop about myself in terms of growth through the Student Connect team. And yeah.
That's great. That's amazing. We love growth over here, obviously. So we have done a lot of webinars, a lot. So my question is, what is your favorite webinar and why?
That's a really, really difficult one for me. I think there's
Oh,
been so many great ones.
how about top three and you give me a reason for all of them?
Top three. I don't have to rank them, do I?
No, no, that
Cool.
would be hard.
It would be really, really difficult. I think in terms of top three, one has to be the anti-poverty webinar. And I'm really, really biased about that one, just because obviously, I had the amazing opportunity to kind of get that one together, kind of get the guest speakers together, plan the content and that kind of thing. And for me, that was like my whole first year as a social work student's journey coming to life. And so that was brilliant. That was just absolutely amazing. And then I think the other one has to be the anti-racist webinar, just because of how impactful that webinar really was and what it was able to do and change in the social work profession. And obviously, you were there and, that's how you kind of got into the team. So obviously that has to be one of my favorites because of that. But yeah, that was an absolutely brilliant webinar. And then I think third one would have to be I think it was our 20th webinar where we kind of got, was it 20 guest speakers? And we had Harry Ferguson there, Jade from our university. Then we had a kind of a wide range of people just from all over the UK and then also international. And for me, that was a really, really amazing webinar because it was all about just kind of bringing social work together and sharing stories. And it was all a bit of a mess in terms of the tech side of things, even though it probably looked really smooth, on YouTube and that kind of thing. But it was obviously a lot to kind of handle the tech on, on the tech side of things. But I just feel that that was that was social work. It was a mess, it was big, it was amazing, it was hearing loads and loads of people's voices. It was just, it was really special moment, I think.
That's incredible, and I would agree with everything that you said. I want to pick up on the key themes that you kind of touched on in like each of them. It's that sense of community, I guess. That's what these webinars are bringing forward. And I guess the question would be, what makes these webinars so special, and how does that like interlink with the community that's been built, in your personal opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's really, really great about the webinars is, I think it's the team and the fact that it's kind of, it's run, by students, but obviously with Siobhan. And I think Siobhan makes it special in herself as well. But I just think the kind of, how we all kind of work together, and the kind of the ideas that we kind of bring, up, with the webinars. And I think a lot of our kind of ideas have come from our community as well that we've built. So kind of a lot of kind of suggestions that are in the surveys and things like that, the tweets that we get, that kind of, is all kind of held within our webinars and our kind of delivering and our planning. I think that's really, really special. I think it's really, really collaborative, the kind of community that we've made. And, I almost feel like our Student Connect team isn't just, the kind of small group that we have. It's, the 500 to 1,000, kind of continuous, watchers, and the community that we have, that kind of create this amazing community and the amazing webinars that we do have.
I completely agree. And I think it's very interesting how this came about during COVID. What do you think this new community has been able to provide to everyone during these difficult times? And do you see it still providing the things that it's doing now in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, the webinars, obviously, they came out of COVID, but we're still obviously planning to, kind of run through it. I think it was needed during COVID, and it was probably needed before COVID, and especially after COVID, because of the important, kind of things that we talk about. I feel like obviously the social work curriculum has its limitations in terms of, what can be taught. But with our kind of flexibility and ability to do whatever we want really in terms of theory and practice, we are able to kind of add our own kind of flavor, or that kind of thing, to the social work curriculum, or to the kind of social work learning that for everyone, students, practitioners, etc. And I think that's really, really important, and one of the most powerful things that we've been able to achieve. Having a whole hour and 30 minutes just talking about anti-racism was so needed and is still needed. And then having another webinar where we continue that conversation. And of course, I hope to have many, many webinars continuing that conversation. That is something that we don't really get on the social work curriculum. So yeah, that's definitely been something that I hope continues forever, kind of coming out of COVID. And it's a really great thing that we've been able to achieve.
I completely agree. Again, I think it's definitely filled in a gap that no one really realized needed to be filled, which is absolutely amazing. You mentioned that you were a first-year student when you started the Student Connect team, and you've also mentioned that you've actually had a part to play in helping organize the anti-poverty webinar. So my question to you, if you were a first-year student, what was the one thing that you learned from the webinars from a student perspective? Not from your tech side of things, but from a student perspective. Like, what was the one webinar that was like, wow, I did not know this?
I'll be honest, I think the webinars around kind of immigration control and age assessments is something that I just didn't have much knowledge about. And they were the webinars that really, really woke me up to the hostile environment, but also to like the stories of, Gulwali, who shared his story of, kind of, being an asylum seeker. These are stories that I hadn't heard about a lot. And I didn't realize the kind of prevalence and the importance for social work, kind of hearing these stories and hearing these shocking stories and, deaths that are happening because of the hostile environment, etc. And yeah, that's really, really impacted me as a kind of as a social work student, I think, and it's something that I really, really want to kind of continue to educate myself on and, you know, learn a lot more about, I think, for my practice.
Incredible, incredible. So to summarize what has been said so far, Omar has literally told us how he got involved with the Student Connect team, what his role was, how he has developed and how he's grown and learned so many different things through the different webinars that he found to be most impactful to him. But he also highlighted how there were so many webinars that actually taught him about things that he didn't know about, like immigration control. And I think that's testament to the wide range of the webinars that are available. Don't forget that you can watch these webinars on YouTube on this channel, and you can go back to them whenever you want. Honestly, just do it. But so Omar, what are you excited about for next year? For the new season, new series of the Student Connect webinars?
So yeah, what I'm most excited for in terms of like our future webinars and what we've kind of got planned is this kind of international webinar we've got planned, where we hope to kind of invite social workers, you know, practitioners, students, etc., from, you know, different European countries, but also going international, you know, across the world, and just kind of hearing about how social work is global, social work is interconnected, and how social work can learn from each other on a global scale. I think that's going to be really, really amazing. And I'm really, really excited for that one.
Okay, thank you, Omar. Thank you for taking the time to do this interview, and thank you to everyone watching this video right now. Don't forget that we will be coming back in January. Until then, and watch out for these videos that will be coming out on Wednesday through our social medias. But also, as I said earlier, you can watch our past webinars on Siobhan's channel right now. Okay.